to do. If I do a small one and squish it in there, I get something like this. If I do a big one, then it's kind of like I'm doing like, see, if I do a big one like this is pretty big. This is pretty big right here, right? But I just can't go like that, right? That's I have to then now, you know, smush it a little bit. So now it's kind of like a big circle, right? But you see, it's about the same thickness, the same pinky thickness, right? So I'm gonna pop that guy, like, I don't know, maybe pop him right in here just to be different. So you see how I've got these little pebbles in there? I'm gonna do a little guy right over here. And then sometimes you see like this little gap right in there, this little space right in there. I could do a little one right in there just to fill in that space. Because later I'm going to come in with the coil, the snake, and I got a snake in there, right? I've got to do a little snake in there. So before I get carried away, let me do some blending. Because as this thing starts to close in, I'm not going to be able to reach in here. And it's going to get really hard. So don't build too much and then try to get your stick inside of here to blend. It's just not going to work. And if you don't blend this very well, after it gets fired, it's going to fall apart. It's going to crack on you. So you really got to, you know, get this thing blended in. All right? Blend this puppy in. All right. Let's go ahead and wrap this up here. You get it? You get the joke? Wrap it up. I'm wrapping it. Okay, never mind. All right. Tough crowd. See, I have that thing. It's going boom, boom, boom. So that means I've got to slow it down and maybe. When you have that happening, it's better to just go one direction. Yeah, it's not doing it right over here. All right, let's get this going. So let me go in here, right? I'm gonna go right in there, and I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze this guy in there. Squeeze this guy in there. And then I'm going to go around, right? See what I just did? I just did that. You know, you can be relaxed about this. Some people, they want to be very symmetrical. They want to make the same on one side than the other side. Some people are kind of like, you know, hey, whatever happens, happens. Loosey-goosey, right? And that's okay too. All right, so here I am, right? Look at this. It's happening. Okay. It's like a bunch of intestines, right? So now I need to start closing this in. So you see this? Now, I don't want to close it in too much because I'm going to tell you, honestly, you can try closing it in. If you close it in this much, right, it just gets, you're going to have to come in here with your finger and really start blending and doing a little bit at a time because it gets tough. See, right here? Now I'm going to have to come in here and I'm going to do sideways. Now, notice that I'm holding, I'm going like this. I'm holding it and I'm blending like this, right? And I'm going up and sideways, and then I'm going to turn it this way, right? But this is important, this hand in here like this, because it gives it support. Otherwise, the coils, it's all going to fall apart, all the coils. All right, so you want to keep blending this in. Now, every now and then you might see if there's an opening or a crack. Remember, just grab a piece like this, come in here, pop it in there, right? So I just put an extra piece right there because I saw it opening up right there, and then just start blending that away, all right? Now, at some point here, you're not going to be able to reach in there with your hand, and you're like, yeah, but I don't want it to be rough on the inside. Well, what you can do is you can, you know, get a sponge, wet it, right? Not too much water, everybody. Just a little bit of a sponge, and you can come in here and maybe, you know, do a slight blending in here. Wet it a little bit, and then you can blend it with your finger and smooth it out. But it doesn't need to be glass, okay? But this smooths it out a little bit. You see that? So now I'm good to go. All right, let me finish this off. Let me make another coil to finish this off. Oh yes, and if you get the table wet, it's going to be very hard for you to make a coil. You want to keep that table dry. Okay. Now you can make it smaller than the one I just made right now, because you can see that this one is a little bit bigger than this one. So you can make it smaller, that's fine. Don't make it too big, all right? Because this is just our first, project, and we're just trying to get a feel for it, all right? We're just trying to get a feel for it. All right, so we're gonna be closing this off. So now what's gonna happen is I'm gonna be, working inward right in here. Right here. So you see that? I'm just going to start coiling it in, but at some point stop, because you got to blend. And if you keep going, you're not going to be able to get in there to do the blending. So I'm going to stop, see if I can do a little blending. At this point, it's kind of like you're just blending sideways. It's very hard here to do this. You almost have to push down, right? So from here, you push down. And you kind of have to, really get in here now with your fingers and blend this. At this point, you may not be able to really use the tool. You can try. And at this, going forward here, you just want to do a coil and then blend. A coil and then blend. Just like this.